I was at a place, point in my life to where I felt like, and this was most recent, September was the last episode that I experienced, to where my spirit was so broken by just everything that I endured in life. And then to realize who I was, but then for the enemy to come in and try to snatch all of that away. I was at a point to where I had my 9 in my lap.
Oh no.
Like, this is it.
What?
And I called one of my friends here. Her name is Royal. Hey girl, love you. Roy was like, Nicole, this is not it. This is not you. This is not, how can we get you out of this headspace, out of this, particular moment? But it took prayer. It took me to get all the way down to the core of my spirit.
Wow.
And God, even though I felt, because people will tell you, okay, well, you don't go to church, you don't.
Yeah,
God is still with you whether you go or not. And I'm not saying not going is not right, because I do believe that you need that fellowship,
Yeah, and God still loves you.
Yes, and he showed me that. And so that got me to a place to where I said, you know what, when God really showed up, I told him, take the pain of everything, of not having parents, of not having, a significant other to love, not having that tangible love. I think that's what I was yearning for. But once I realized that God is everything you need him to be, that's when I got to the realization that, hey, I can do this because God is with me.
Yeah.
God
got you. Welcome to another episode of Say Something with Cheré. There's things that happened in my life that I thought was going to take me out, but I survived. And on this episode, we're going to talk about surviving what I almost surrendered to. So I can't wait to sit down with my guest, Nicole Crump, actor, actress, singer, entrepreneur. I want to hear what she almost surrendered to, yet she survived, and she's doing amazing things. Meet me on the set. Welcome back to another episode of Say Something with Cheré. And I told you, I got my girl, Nicole Crump, on the set today. Hey, Nicole. Hey. Come on, gorgeous. You look fly as ever.
Thank you.
Always.
How are you?
Amazing. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful.
Thank you, Nicole, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I miss you. I haven't seen you in
I know. I miss you too.
Ever.
I miss you too.
I know you booked and busy. Thank you. We got to get together. We can have snack, donuts, carrots, whatever. I don't know. We need to get together.
Every outing with you is memorable.
So
I will say that it's amazing. It's amazing.
Thank you. I just love you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to get in your business today,
okay.
Right? Because we got two things in common. Well, we have children. We're moms. And teenage and adult children, young adult children.
Yes.
Yes. And we're actors.
Yes.
And I am just so proud of your journey. I've been seeing all of the bookings. Like, girl.
Thank you.
It's amazing. I'm watching your journey, and just like to see an audition. I love that you show the journey too. Here's the audition. Yeah. Here's me back to work. Yeah. Oh, child, I done booked the show. Now I done booked another one.
Right. I mean, because a lot of people think that it's just, you just there. It is not that, We are actors, we're contractors, we're independent contractors. So, I mean, we don't work every day, and at this point in my life, I'm taking quality over quantity.
Okay.
So it's all about what it is. I'm not just going to jump on screen or jump into a project. I pray about it. If God opens a door for something major, and then I'll take it.
That is so interesting. I remember when I was heavy, really pursuing acting, like running after it, couldn't sleep, stressing over auditions when we're taught to do the audition and go about your business, right? But it's like, oh, I need a booking, and you're counting how many bookings you had this week and this year, and it was just like taking anything.
Yeah.
And so to hear you say, like, no, I'm not taking anything. I am selective over what I want to be a part of and what I want to show up for. That means, so I didn't have that when I was really pursuing acting. My thing has always been hosting. It's just my first love. I dream about it.
Yeah.
And I love acting. I always wanted to be acting as a little girl, but when I got on the set, I would be like, okay, I don't want to be the actor. Who is the director? I want to be the director. Who owned this building? I want to own this building. Like, my mind just got bigger, and so then I felt less of myself as an actor. And so I'm like, why people want to be actors? Why don't you just want to own the whole studio, right? But it's the love of art.
It's the love, yeah, it's the love of art. I think, you know, when you're behind the scenes, those are the big bosses.
Yes.
You know, we're just the faces of what they do, but those are the big bosses. So I agree with you on that.
And I hated the journey. I hated early call time. I hated sitting in makeup.
Yeah.
I hated wardrobe.
It's a hurry up and wait.
It's a hurry up and wait. I love when we got on set and it was like, oh, we good to go. But it was like all the other stuff. And then we would cut. Sure. I didn't want to eat lunch. I just wanted to go home. So it was just so funny how it's like,
all right, give me my food to go. Give me my food to go.
I'm glad I learned the business. You know, you have to learn the business and learn to hurry up and wait and basically earn your stripes, baby.
That's
okay?
True. That's so true.
You can't just come in here and do what you want to do.
That's it.
But let me ask you, how are you doing? How are your girls doing?
My girls are great. They are great. They are good and grown, 20 and 22 right now. I'm about to be 22 next week. But they are great in school. They work as well. So I'm super proud of them.
Are they still home?
They are still home. And I'm okay with that.
I am too.
Yes, I'm okay with that. You know, I'm here by myself in Atlanta, so I don't have family here. So it's just me and my daughters. Okay. So for them to be home, it's like, yes, I just need to see.
I'd rather you be home, okay? Mine's 25 and she's back home. She just graduated college and I'm like, baby, stay as long as you can. Yeah. I will build a house in the back for you. Just to stay. Take your time because I'm not kicking you out just because you're grown. You have to take your time with that.
Right.
Now you said you're here alone, but okay, so are we single, mingling?
Ooh, we are single.
No.
Okay? Yes.
I just saw a boo.
So you did. But I was married 21 years. I got divorced. 21 years to my daughter's father.
Wow, I didn't know it was that long.
Girl, yes, I got married at 19.
Oh, you was a baby.
19. But I started dating and was talking to this gentleman, but he wasn't it. And I knew it. God broke that thing right on up, you know. But he trying to spin the block, but you know,
and you can't do that. That block closed, baby. It's barricades.
It's done. It's done.
It's giving over. Giving rapture for you at this point.
Exactly. But I am actively dating.
Okay.
You know, so
intentionally versus is that the same as intentionally, actively?
Yeah. I mean,
are you just trying to be a player on these streets and stuff?
No. See, they don't get all the goods, you know.
Okay.
But you want to show me what you're about, you know. You want to learn me, you want to, you know. Then we can do that for sure. But you gotta prove it. I'm at a point. You know,
I like
you gotta
that.
Prove it.
Prove yourself.
I know what I bring to the table. I am the table. Okay.
That's why I be hanging around Black Magic, baby. Now, what got you to that point? Because like you said, you were married for 21 years. You started dating. You knew he wasn't the one. Right. And you still gave him, you entertained it.
Yeah, because, you know, some guys, they put pressure on you, you know, and when you're constantly chasing, what I think in the dating scene now, this is just my opinion, so many people are so intentional to be unintentional, if that makes sense. It's like, you don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. Don't wine and dine and then you turn out to be a whole booger wolf.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's scary. It's scary. So I'm taking my time right now, but I really cared about him. You know, I really cared about him.
It just was the wrong
person. It is what it is.
Now on this journey to being booked and busy and blessed on top of that.
Yes.
I wanted to have you on this show because the topic came up, surviving what I almost surrendered. Like there's just things that we go through in life and you think, this is going to take me, I'm not going to make it through this. I ain't going to make it. Yeah. What was that moment for you? And how did you like get up and just keep showing up?
God.
That's true.
Seriously, you know, not to even be, you know, I'm not religious, but I am spiritual.
Wow.
God, you know, I was at a place, you know, point in my life to where I felt like, and this was most recent, September was the last episode that I experienced, to where my spirit was so broken by just everything that I endured in life. And then to realize who I was, but then for the enemy to come in and try to snatch all of that away. You know, I was at a point to where I had my 9 in my lap.
Oh no.
Like, this is it.
What?
And I called one of my friends here. Her name is Royal. Hey girl, love you. Roy was like, Nicole, this is not it. This is not you. This is not, how can we get you out of this headspace, out of this, particular moment? But it took prayer. It took me to get all the way down to the core of my spirit.
Wow.
And God, even though I felt, because people will tell you, okay, well, you don't go to church, you don't.
Yeah,
God is still with you whether you go or not. And I'm not saying not going is not right, because I do believe that you need that fellowship,
Yeah, and God still loves you.
Yes, and he showed me that. And so that got me to a place to where I said, you know what, when God really showed up, I told him take the pain of everything, of not having parents, of not having, a significant other to love, not having that tangible love. I think that's what I was yearning for. But once I realized that God is everything you need him to be, that's when I got to the realization that, hey, I can do this because God is with me.
Yeah. God got you. That is something, though, to be sitting there, that gave me chills. Like, I always wonder what happens in life to where you get to the point where you just like, let me just end it because it's going to be better.
You think that? I think we think that. We go through life. My first attempt was, I was young. I was like 10. I was 10. And God showed up even then. So that's how I know he real.
He's been covering.
He's been covering. And a lot of the things that he's shown me today, he showed me back then where I would be. He's strategically have been ordering my steps. And, I was molested from age 5 to 11 by my stepdad.
Wow.
I'm talking every
was your
night.
Mom in the house, though?
My mom was in the house, but my mom worked overnight. So it would happen, overnight, And for years, I went without saying anything because I was threatened that he would kill me. He would kill my mom, And by the time I was 11, I said, you know what, this is it. I can't take no more of this.
Right.
So I said, well, he's just going to have to kill me. He's just going to have to kill me because she's about to know.
She's about to know.
When I did explain it to her, she didn't believe me.
Oh, my gosh.
It wasn't until about 2015 that we had a heart-to-heart conversation about
2015?
2015. My mom passed in 2017. Jesus. So those 2 years now, I stopped speaking to my mom completely.
Yeah. From the time you were 11, when she didn't believe you?
When I was 11, we would have encounters, and she know my daughters. I would take my kids over there, but then at a point to where the gentleman was still around, before he passed, to where, she would have my daughters. And I said, you know what, I told you, my daughters can't be around him.
That's right.
So whatever you decide to do when they're not here, that's that. But so let me just deplete myself from the whole situation. Yep. And that's what I did. But I prayed about it, and I went home one Thanksgiving, the end of 2014, I went home, and when I walked in, she just broke, and she said, I prayed for this moment. And so those 2 years before she passed were the best 2 years of our relationship in my whole lifetime.
Wow.
And I thank God for that.
Did you wholeheartily forgive her?
I did.
In order to embrace that last 2 years,
I did.
you had to forgive her.
Yeah, I did. Hurt people.
Yes.
And that is true, And what she told me, she said, I just didn't know how to deal because I was raped by my biological dad, So it was just a lot of trauma, but I thank God for giving me the opportunity to explain to her what I felt,
yes.
And then God he showed up and showed out on that. And so I thank him for that because I have no regrets about anything, If I can go back to do it all over again, it still wouldn't change who I am today because God was there all the time,
So are you way protective over your daughters?
Oh yeah. They don't spend the night at people's houses. They didn't do none of that.
Even in their 20s. It's like, no. Now I understand when you say I want them home. I want them to stay right there with me.
Yeah.
That's so funny. You never know a person's story.
Yeah.
You have so much success tied to you. You show up with a smile on your face. I know we've had one encounter where you called me where you didn't want to call.
Yeah.
And I'm on the phone like, what is going on? And it was like, oh my gosh, it was such a relatable incident that, you know, we connected and prayed and shared tears, and it's like,
Yeah.
you never really think about the human side of a person. And social media can just be, of course, we're not there to air our dirty laundry, clearly.
Right.
But then there are some things where it's like, you just would never think of what a person has been through and how they got that strength.
Right.
And for you to show up and choose entertainment where there's a lot of no's, a lot of rejection, a lot of, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And you showing up on this camera, giving this character, and the people behind the table is like, I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Has that ever affected you? Has that ever made you think back to when you showed up to your mom and she didn't believe you?
It does. Certain roles that I portray definitely is relatable to that situation. We filmed a la carte, which is Megan Good's show on All Black.
I saw that.
So I play recurring on there, and Sheila is a mess. And she, just reading the script, I'm like, this is my mama.
Because you play the girl's mama.
Yes.
and you's a beast on there. From the clips that I've seen, because I haven't seen the show yet, but the clips that I've seen.
Yeah. It's sometimes you have to decompress, you know, going back to your trailer. You know, I know for me, I had to decompress, just kind of even telling her some of the script that they wrote and some of the wording. It was just like, it did take a toll on me.
Wow.
So when I go back, I have to pray and I have to say, God, you know, allow me to be this way with my daughters in real life. And I love the actress, Jenna Noling. She's amazing. But yeah, I definitely relate any character that I have to myself.
To yourself.
But a lot of the times it is hard when you know you've been in those situations. Then it's like, it's easier to portray.
Yeah.
But it's also challenging and more emotional as well.
To come out of it. Once you live it for a week or however long you're on set, to go home, and it's a struggle to come out of it. Now you also work a 9 to 5. Well, 9 to 5, but you property management. I always thought about getting into it.
Yes.
I wanna own like a whole property. It's just for some reason I just want to own the property.
And I think that's part of my goal. I've been in it for about 15 years, specializing in conventional as well as tax credits, Section 8. Anything you can name, student housing, I've done it. And you do learn, it is a learning experience, so I do love it. My end goal is to have my own apartment community.
No, that's right.
That's what I do want. So gaining the knowledge, creating the networking with the vendors and, you know, people that you meet in the industry, that is part of my goal.
I love that. I said that because to be pursuing something in entertainment, and I don't know where this trend has come to where we just downplay work, 9 to 5 companies, anything that ain't struggling, you know, for you to have a consistent income. It is so downplayed. And I love how you do that. You show that journey and you still show like I'm still pursuing what God has in me, my desires, my purpose here on life. And so do you ever find yourself feeling like when can I give this up? When is my time, Lord? When am I going to get the big break to where I can let this go?
Right.
I'm tired of working this job now.
I'll give you a little backstory. I also work part-time. So I work part-time as well. Because for one, I'm not residual. This is not something that I get, you know, when I book, they pay me and I go on by my way. You know,
some
they
of them
bring
residuals don't be like 2 cents. Okay?
Listen, come on now. You know how it goes.
Yes.
So I've always been a go-getter. You know, I've always been, I'm not, you know, even in my marriage, I was always that, you know, I'm working 2 jobs. I've always have.
Wow.
And so I just don't want to be homeless. I never want to do that. So it may sound crazy, but I say, you know, I work in property management. I would never be without a roof over my head because I can go stay on any property I have with this company. So even with that, I just think I was in my part-time job, which is a retail store.
Okay.
So I won't say the name, but it's a retail store.
Because they ain't giving us no checks.
So, right.
Giving you no bonus.
Right. So I get off work. I work my 8:30 to 6.
Yeah.
And then 6:30 to about midnight, I'm working my retail job.
Okay.
And so I'm at the register, and I'm, you know, and so this lady comes in and she say, oh my God, you look like the girl from rap shit.
Oh.
You know, and I'm like, do I? She's like, yeah, you know the girl, the China girl. And I was like, how you doing? It's me. You know, I don't feel bad because nobody pays my bills but me.
Hello.
You know, so I just, it was motivating. At the same time, I did think about what they did to Gregory Owens when he was at Trader Joe's working, you know, and they were surprised that you played on the Cosby Show, but you are working at Trader Joe's. Honey, our bills do not stop.
No.
They don't stop.
And he's in California still, so baby. He could get the money. And that reminds me when I was working for a tech company, and I hadn't been there but a few months, and one day I was off work, and they were calling me from the office like, girl, somebody just came down here and said, like, we're the girl to sit right here. She on TV. I hadn't told them nothing that I do. And I was like, what? I came back to work the next day and they was like, everybody from the 6th floor was like, they came down there and it was like, you're on that show. It was Fatal Attraction. To this day, I think I got blew up last week about Fatal Attraction. And I was like, oh yeah, that is me.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I was like, but those are spurts, okay? And for me, in this, I used to grind when I was younger, but for me in this age, baby, my child is grown now. I like nice sheets. I like nice things. And so I'm going to grind. I'm going to get what I need. The businesswoman in me. I want to be multiple incomes to be a multimillionaire. But that comes from literally surviving, though. Surviving the moments of where I felt like I was about to be poor. Lights was being cut off. Eviction notices. Didn't have. Pursuing acting, trying to pursue and focus and waiting on phone calls and saying like, well, I'm not going to work. That came from being trauma and just having to survive things. And once you get out of, I could have just surrendered. I could have just let myself go. But when you get out of that and you make it over something, it's kind of like, it's hard for something else to knock you down. You may have that moment, but it's something that reminds you like, no, there's more to this. There's more to life, baby. It's more in you. Somebody is dependent on you. Because especially when our kids get older, it's kind of like, they don't need us no more. Like, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to get a job and a part-time, right? Like Nicole, I'm just going to stay busy.
Stay busy, for sure.
Because you've been a mom and a parent and you've been through so much in life, literally for your children. And then they grow up and they move out and it's like, okay, so what's left? You know, what's there to sacrifice for? So if you had to, today, in this moment, what is it that you would solely give credit to for, I guess, putting the piece down, like taking it off? I know you had the friend that you called, but what is it that you would solely give credit for to say like, okay, this ain't it? And I know God, definitely, but it was something else in there that made you even stop to even give God reverence.
For the relationships? I would say just knowing my worth. Sometimes we we go through traumatic experiences and we forget about the journey to where we came from and all the obstacles that we overcame to get to where we are. And then in a split second, you think that all of that is in vain. Oh, it's not.
That's good.
It's not, you know, and it took me to really, the only envision in my head that I can get to kind of convey what I experienced in that moment was a breakdown of again of my spirit. But if you would literally see someone with everything, every emotion you can imagine, that's losing everything, and literally when people used to say, you know, you need to fall down on your knees and you need to ask God, you know, I literally had to fall down and say, God, I need you in this moment, because right now I'm about to be a hashtag.
Wow.
You know, and it was really just thinking about where God has brought me from, you know, where he has brought me from, you know, where he's taken me. You know, his promises they're not void because you're going through what you're going through. His promises are still his promises, you know, and that's what really got me through, you know, and you know, I can't say I wasn't thinking about my children, because I was. You know, I was, because they have their dad, you know, they love their father. He's a great dad, you know, but I just thought about, you know, well, who gonna show up for them? You know, So
what they gonna think? Were you raised in church?
I was. My mom was a praise and worship leader, choir
Okay.
director. My whole family sings. I sing too.
Oh, okay, then I could have had you sing a little jingle.
girl,
Clark Sisters or something.
Oh no. Yeah, but you know, I strayed away. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I saw y'all post y'all church on Facebook, and I was like, you know what? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm used to
Was we
right
dancing?
there. Yes, baby.
Oh, yes, honey.
Y'all was getting down. So I grew up Baptist. And then I
okay.
grew up Baptist, but we switched over to Church of God in Christ.
Okay.
I was about 12. And my mom was a powerful singer. Powerful. She was singing at work, and a young lady that went to that worked there, her brother had a church. So she said, hey, come visit.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom went and sung a solo. When we got to the church, girl, them folk were dancing all over that church. I was tickled because I had never seen nothing like it. I mean, me and my brother had tears in our eyes. We were like, what are they doing? They running around here. What is going on? We came to a youth night. So the youth pastor was like, can you bring your kids back? And my mom was like, well, y'all going. And we was like, we don't want to go. Like, go for what? Them people
around,
crazy.
jumping.
Honey, let me tell you, I had never felt that way before.
hit
But
you.
Honey,
Did you get the Holy Ghost?
baby, I need to be dipped again. I need them to touch me again.
No, I ain't mad at that.
It's been a while, but yeah, I grew up, and we say, Church of God in Christ, and then we switched to non-denominational. But it's in it. It's in it. So I love to, I will dance, honey. I will get my little step on, honey.
Listen, you might go to church just to dance. When you said you fell down on your knees, it made me think like, okay, you had to be raised in church. Like I was raised in church, Pentecostal. So we've been dancing all our life, right? Grew up practicing what we saw other folks doing.
Yeah.
And I remember when I got to Atlanta and I was like, what in the world did I do? I done moved here with $1,500 and a 3-year-old and no job. And all I knew was to go. I was staying with my friend. Every time she went to work, I went in her closet and got on my knees. Because I remember seeing my grandmother go to her closet and pray. Yeah. My mom, they had an altar in the closet, so I would go to the closet and pray. When I tell you God just began to open doors and let things happen. And the girl I was staying with, I remember she went back home to Toledo and she called me and said, I'm not coming back. And she was like, and we got an eviction notice. We got to be out in a week. I was like, a week? But in that nick of time, God had gave me a job with the state. I was at the Department of Juvenile Justice. Okay. I had got an apartment in Roswell. Very expensive, but at this time, this only apartment complex was offering discounts to single mothers. So I got a discount rate. And all that happened in that same week. And it was like God just looked out for me. Yeah. So to your point, God's promises they're not voided. They don't just go away. Like you just got to remember what he's already done. And when I go to church, baby, dancing is life. Matter of fact, if we ain't dancing, your word better be real strong. This ADHD of mine. I'm over here thinking how I could be in the kitchen cutting a rug, baby. I could be at home with my own shouting music on. I'd be in the car and would go to YouTube and put on shouting music. Right. And I would dance in my car because of the goodness of God. Yeah. I have never come to a moment to where I wanted to take my own life, but I have met so many people who have been there. As a matter of fact, I hope I don't get emotional again. I was just crying on the show. My daughter went to college, and her sophomore year in college, she called me and had attempted suicide. And I was very heavy in domestic violence. Remember, I was working a lot before the pandemic, and I cried so many days in the shower, blaming myself like I'm out here saving everybody else, domestic violence, children. And my child had tore up her room, had, just beat the car. She was going through so much. And I couldn't believe that here I am sitting here, my own child getting ready to take her life. Yeah. Has life gotten that bad? So what would make you take your own life? And everything that she said on that couch and told me, when I tell you I cried in the I didn't cry in front of her, but every day I got in the shower, I beat myself up like, what did I do? Yeah. And I think about every case that I listened to, every rape case that I listened to as a young person, the parent didn't believe them.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And I don't know if it's like a denial or just, maybe they don't want to be held accountable for it, but it happens. I mean, it happens. A lot of people don't get over the trauma from it.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people don't get over it and they hold it within, you know, and I'll tell you something, even when we went to that church and we started, you know, being taught the word of God and really getting it into, you know, our spirit, you know, God helped me with that situation. And I would lay that on the altar every Sunday. My mama like, you go to the altar every Sunday because I'm trying to lay down what you did and what he did.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm trying to lay this down, you know, and I finally got to a place. And how I knew I got to a place of peace and forgiveness, when he passed, they told me he passed. I was sitting in the tub and my sister came in and she said, you know, he passed, you know. And my first thought was, I hope to God he prayed to get himself together with God.
Wow.
And I pray that he is in eternity.
Wow.
I really, you know, I really do pray that he is in a better place. You know, I don't know for sure where he is.
Did he ever get forgiveness?
But
repent?
I hope he is, you know, because
Hopefully, you know.
again, not knowing who he was, and, you know, I'm researching things that, you know, about victims of sexual assault and molestation and rape and things like that, and a lot of times our you know, perpetrators, the people that are doing it to us, they've been hurt too.
Yes.
The same way.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely. That is something I was going to ask you. How did you know that you had, or did you get a chance to forgive him while he was alive? And then how did you know that you were actually healed? But that
when he passed, but before he passed, about a year or so before he passed, my mom was in a coma.
Oh.
And she's a diabetic, congestive heart failure. She had a lot of things wrong. And I went to go get him from his house, because by this time he was, you know, him and my mom weren't together. I had my aunt come with me. So I said, okay, well, the doctor gave us 2 days for my mom. So I said, okay, well, I know he want to see her.
Yeah.
So I went out and got him, brought him to the hospital. And even in that, I was just like, you know, I know I have to forgive. I wasn't fully there yet, but I was like, I know I got to forgive him. I got to forgive him. But my mom, thank God, she came out of the coma. God brought her from just a vegetable state to nothing to back up walking and talking again. And so when she found out what I did, this just, I was infuriated. I was heated. So she said, well, my question is, if he did that, then why she go get him? So that took
It set you back.
It set me back.
Way back.
It set me back. So when I moved to Atlanta in 2014, I did not speak to my mom. I left the city without even going by anything, you know. And I was like, God, I just gotta leave it to you, because I can't do this. I can't do it. But
I love to hear that journey, and I love to hear that. And this is, well, you know, no offense to any other survivor of sexual molestation, but I have not heard where you said you blamed yourself, but you still focus on the healing and the forgiveness, which it takes a lot of strength.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of strength. And so even today, now he being deceased, your mom being deceased, you're here, you raised 2 daughters, a failed marriage. I had a divorce too, and I call it what it is. I had a failed marriage, happily married now to where my person, the love of my absolute life, who I should have been with in middle school. We should have got married in elementary at this point.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Yeah, so being there, thank you. Being in this moment right now, having survived all of that, survived raising 2 beautiful daughters who are successful and steady watching you, what does the journey look like now?
My journey is amazing. I woke up this morning, I was like, you know, Lord, even though I'm going through certain things, I'm not stressed. You know what I'm saying? I don't bring it to me. I don't claim it. You know, I control the controllables. And I'm like, stress ain't gonna kill me. Ain't nothing gonna kill. I don't project any sickness on myself, anything. You know, my mom and, you know, my family, they say, well, we got diabetes and we got this, you know. Honey, I work out every day. I eat right. You know, I had to cut back on my wine. I ain't gonna lie.
I had to cut back on the sugar.
But I'm like, I just claim it. So what it looks like for me is just the beauty of the journey. Triumph through everything, and still maintaining life. However, I do know for a fact, and you asked me earlier, you know, when is it quits? I got a call 2 weeks ago, And this particular person I can't say because we have an NDA.
Okay. I know about the NDAs.
But he said, this is your last year in property management, so just exit out.
I got chills.
So we're working on a project that is set to go, and it is going to be mega. And I'm thankful to God for every door that he's opened. And this person is just so dope to me. And he's been a friend. He's been a light. He's been everything that I can think of that a female, that a woman would need in her life as a friend, like a true friend, a brother, a friend. He's been everything, and he has detoured my acting career to where I'm like, it's nothing but God. And he and I talk about God all the time, and he's like, I'm here. Like, I believe in you. And I told you, so all of his friends, he's bringing with him as
God I see grow.
Honey.
I think I know you're talking about. But I ain't gonna say that. I'm looking at my watch like his name there. I love that.
Yeah. So
the power of connecting and relationships in the early stages and believing in somebody.
Yeah.
Because them underdogs is where it's at, baby.
Yeah.
When they rise up.
That's it.
I love that he didn't forget about you.
Yeah.
And I love that he spoke, baby. This is your last year. Get ready.
Yes.
Get ready to rumble.
Yes.
I love you as an actor. And I know you mentioned you're in a role for BMF, right? You coming up?
Yes.
Season
3. Recurring role. I'm excited about it.
Now, who else? Is it Mary J? Is she in BMF?
No, she's in she's on Stars as well, but she's in, I think, Power Book.
Oh, she was on BMF though. I think maybe season 1 or something.
It's a lot of us this season. It's who we got? Cynthia Bailey, 2 Chainz, Neo.
Okay.
Sweetie. It's so many.
Are you singing?
Am I singing? No, I'm not singing. I am. BMF was an amazing experience. Shout out to George Pierre. I just
George
love
is
George
dope.
Pierre.
Yeah.
I love him. But I got that role actually I was on the set of A La Carte. My first day filming A La Carte, my agent called me. He say, you booked BMF. He was like, I don't know how you're going to do it because they filming at the same time. I said, God going to make a way.
You're going to make it. Uh-huh.
And each day that I wasn't on A La Carte, I was on
you
BMF.
Was a C?
I was like, yes,
because it was meant to be. This is your last year. Okay?
Yes.
This is your last year in this.
Yes.
And then you're, okay, so my husband and I binge Sisters and Zatima. I don't know why we do both. It's the same thing. So you booked Zatima as well.
I booked Zatima, yes.
What was that like? Or have you filmed yet?
I have.
How was that like?
The new season coming out, it was amazing. So
I think Zach is my friend in my head.
Zach is amazing. He was so sweet.
Really?
He was so sweet on set. Tyler filmed fast, like we shoot fast. But to even get that, I had auditioned for something, right? Mm-hmm. I'd auditioned for All the Queen's Men.
Oh, so say something, a Tyler project.
Yes, okay. Auditioned for that. And this person I was telling you about, he said, well, I'm directing Zatima, this season. So I have my preferred people that I want to bring.
Yes.
And so he literally shot an email and said, this is who I want for this role. The people called me and I was on set. Okay.
Wait, so that was email, call, set?
Yes. I was on set. Film.
Yeah.
So the thing was, he called me, he say, Nicole, he said, they already know who you are. And I said, what do you mean? He said, because I went and told him I want you here. He said, but you were pinned for All the Queen's Men. And I said, really?
Oh, wow.
Whoa. He was like, but I really want you to. I said, I'll do Zatima.
I'll do Zatima.
I
can't wait to watch this. Okay, now I got to watch this. I love the roles, the characters that I have seen you in. I love your auditions that you share, baby. You got some sass. You got a mouth on you, Nicole. Okay, baby, they give you them roles with that mouth. You do not hold back. You show up in them auditions. I am so proud and happy for you. And that is not the journey in acting. Yeah. It could be years. Yeah. I know people that's still in the industry that kind of was with us. I always date everything pre-pandemic because we was busy, baby. We was in these streets.
Yeah.
And I know people that are still on that journey. It's probably because guess what? They've stopped working and they only focus on that.
That's it.
But you are on your way, and just
Thank
the way
you.
it's just dropping in your lap.
Thank
like
you.
You deserve it.
Thank you, girl. You do too.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I really am.
I appreciate it.
You are
I know
amazing.
I'm waiting on God to open up some doors. I know some big things are about to happen, and you know what? It's just trusting God.
Yeah. For
It's
sure.
really trusting Him. I
For
trust
sure.
Him with everything. I'm doing the journal right now, and it's like you have to write down, what are you struggling? I'm like, I'm not struggling to trust God with nothing.
Right.
I think my struggle is probably, I know it's going to happen in His timing. I think my struggle is maybe like making sure that what I'm doing is still in alignment with the
With
purpose, what
yes.
He told me to do.
Understand
Because
that.
it's taking time. It's like, am I doing the right thing? I know you told me. So I think that
Yeah.
is
That's
a
amazing.
struggle. But God keeps doing every day
Yeah.
brand new mercy. So it's like, you right on
course.
track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I want you to tell somebody in the camera, this is your camera,
Okay.
as we get ready to close. I want you to look in this camera and tell somebody who may be struggling and feeling like this is it. I'm about to end it, or I'm about to give up, be it career or be it life. I want you to encourage that person.
Okay. Sometimes we get in a place to where we are unmotivated. You know, believe in, for one, meditate, pray, whatever your out is. Get into a place of peace. Get into a place of God's presence, because He's here. He's all around. No matter what you decide, whatever your religion is or whatever you study, God is still God at the end of the day. Don't give up. That is the enemy. I believe it. It is the adversary saying what you can't do and what you won't do, but God says different. So get into a place of just motivating yourself, building your spirit up, building your we speak out, you know, words have power. Words have power. And so speak life. Write it down. Don't give up on nothing, because you got this. The enemy wants you to see, you know, count me out. Don't count yourself out. God got you. Write it down. One thing I did do at the beginning of the year of last year and the beginning of this year, I wrote down everything I wanted to attain, short term, long term. I prayed over that thing and I said, God, you got this. When I wrote that list down, the guy that I was talking to at that time, and when we just talked about, he said, Nicole, you just wrote this down, and I booked. I did this, you know, became this, took this position, you know. God opened up so many doors. Write the vision and make it plain. You know, you got it. Be encouraged, and don't let nobody tell you what you cannot do, because God is, and you are too.
I be trying to figure out how I'm going to wrap these shows up and close these episodes out, but my guests be dropping it, and I dare not come behind that. Thank you so much. That encouraged
Thank
me.
you.
I will be rooting on the sidelines, as I always do. We're going to get together, and we're going to do the quarterly out, and we're going to bring you.
I'm there. Look, I'll call in.
You're one I genuinely love. If I
Thank
take
you.
nothing else from this episode, I take that you said, I do not attract anything. Words have power.
Yeah.
So even when it comes to sickness and illness, you're like, I'm not finna to claim anything.
Yes.
Baby, this is what I'm claiming, all the good that God has for me. And so till the next time, y'all, me and Nicole, we encourage you to say something.